Call the meeting to order. Start with the pledge to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Thayer.
Here.
Bamber.
Here.
Gobine.
Here.
Betcher. Here. McNally.
Here.
Turnbull.
Here.
Laker. Here. Townsend.
Here.
Baker.
Here. And the recommendation on the minutes. September 9th.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes from September 9th regular meeting
As presented.
as presented.
Support. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Request to be on the agenda, there are none. Public comments once.
We have to approve.
Did
We have to approve the agenda.
We have to approve the agenda.
I make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
I'm trying to be expedient, but I apologize. Okay, public comments.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name again is Larry Ford. I'm like a bad penny. I just keep showing up here every once in a while. I'm with the Chamber of Commerce from Bridgeport and Birch Run. I thought, I won't take much of your time, but I thought I'd give you just an update on your investment with us and as to how those dollars are distributed and what is left at this point in time. I would remind you that we bought billboards for your Bridge Fest. We had some radio and TV spots that we produced and aired for you during that period of time. You're included in our visitors guide, and they are distributed to every MDOT visitors or welcome center throughout the entire state. So we're getting maximum coverage there. The balance of the money is still in the bank. I'm sorry I don't have the exact number to share that with you. Next time I promise I'll have that for you. But I want to assure you that we're using that money with great discretion. We're looking for the biggest bang for our buck, none of which goes to administration. Administration's on another pot of money, so I can assure you that that's the way the dollars are being spent. We're very grateful and appreciative of the fact that you've invested with us, and we promise to be very judicious in the way we use your dollars. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them. That's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry. Public comments, Bryce? Public comments, third time. And close the public comments. Let's go into new business. Steve, you have a insurance issue?
No, the only thing I did was renew the insurance policy for 2016. I just wanted to show you that the charge for 2016 will be $7,127. Last year it was $6,991, so it didn't go up that much. I had budgeted for $7,500. So we will be under budget a little bit on that line item, but anytime a big bill like that comes through, I'm going to start sharing it with the board. And that bill has been paid. It needed to be paid by October 3rd or whatever. No action needs to be done.
Is this just general liability or?
Yeah, that is, it's our commercial policy. It's general liability. The only thing that is not in there would be terrorism coverage or anything like that. It's all general, I believe, isn't it, Rose? Yes.
It covers anything on property that we own?
Yeah. The general liability, it listed, if you guys want to look at it when you leave, I have all of that. There is no liquor liability, there is no coverage. If we were to host something or do something, we would get a different rider for that. Wrongful acts, disability, I don't want to go over the amount of the coverage on that, but yeah, it's property and general liability.
One of the comments that he made when he was here was that it's kind of the township's job to notify him when we have projects going on, so he can make sure that we've got all of our ducks in a row. And I think that if we pay him that kind of money, we should be able to ask him to check with us every 6 months and every quarter and make sure that we have all our ducks in a row, because he's quality checked that.
I will talk to Norm. What would you like it? Every quarter, every 6 months?
Every quarter.
I'll take care of that.
Thanks.
Okay, any more on the insurance package?
No.
That concludes new business. Let's go on to old business. Beautification Committee report. The 2016 landscape contract.
Yes, I believe it was Augie that brought up a question, if we are paying one contractor a large lump sum, do we need to have bids and stuff like that? Got a hold of Jim from MTA, and the way that it works is if it's more than $20,000 that we are spending to one landscaper or whoever, then you must go get 3 bids. Under $20,000, you do not have to get bids. So DDA does not spend $20,000 because the rock area is being taken care of by a sponsor. The chamber area is being taken care of by a sponsor, and the north end gateway is being taken by a sponsor. So the money that the DDA spends with John through Reliable is less than $20,000, so we do not need to go out and get 3 bids. My recommendation is I will be contacted. We just had a beautification DDA meeting today. Yeah. My recommendation is to keep John from Reliable. He does an outstanding job, very, very easy to work with, gets the job done. I will still be getting all of the bids from him, and then I will compare them to what we paid last year. So that was a recommendation from the beautification, that I'll get bids for 2016. But I'd like to keep John from Reliable for the 2016 season. I don't know, Karen, does any action have to be taken on that? Do we have to have a vote on that, or?
It's less than $20,000.
It's less than $20,000.
I don't believe so, but do we want to ask for like a 2-year contract? Just to kind of eliminate having to do this?
That would be very helpful, and I would like that.
Is that something that you guys feel we can follow through with?
Does that put us over the 20,000?
No, because you go year to year. It's an
That's on any one project. isn't
That's
it?
on any one project.
So there's 3 separate projects.
Well, whether there's 3, 4, or 5, yeah, on any one given project, we're not spending, and like I said, that project's being paid out of different areas. So if I wanted John to come in and refurbish this room, and the cost was $20,099 or $21,000, gotta get 3 bids. It's one project. So we don't spend we spend less than $10,000 out of the DDA money, because right now he's currently taking care of the bridge area and you know, the flowers, and then down over here a little bit. So the big stuff is the rock area and the other areas that are being covered by sponsors. Now, if we lose that sponsorship money, then it becomes where I have to go out and get more than, I have to go get 3 bids. But anything under $20,000 for a one-time project.
The
the other thing would be, the only reason I mentioned that before is knowing that we were gonna go with them, I didn't feel it was fair to other businesses to get estimates because it takes time out of their day. But if we're gonna go with a 3-year contract, then it may not be a bad idea. Like I think Karen had mentioned, just to kind of keep them honest, if you will, to send it out for bid. Because we don't have to accept the lowest bid.
Mhm.
But I just felt like, wow, we're kind of wasting these other people's time by doing this, and that's really not fair to them if we know in fact we're not gonna give them the business. That was my only thought on it, that's all. And I figured other business owners sitting here would probably think that's not a bad idea. But again, if we go with a 3-year contract, it may not be a bad idea, because if they're high, then you can take a look and say, well, you guys are quite high, but, you know, but it makes it more difficult because you can't have them then say, okay, we'll do it for that other bid that was $1,000 less. You can't do that.
So forget I said anything.
So, well, what I could do is just ask for the 2015 bid, okay? Or excuse me, 2016 bid, and say, John, could you give us a bid for the 3 years? Could you save us a little bit of money if we commit to a 3-year? We're not signing anything or anything like that. If he says that if we get a bid and then the beautification DDA committee comes together and the bids are real close to 2016 and he can carry it through to 17, 18, it would be to our advantage to, we're committing to 2016. If I can keep 17 and 18 kind of open and say, discount a little bit, we want to go with you for 3 years, I'll go both ways. We're not going to sign anything until we get all that information. Okay.
Okay. Anything else on the beautification committee? Close the beautification committee, old business. Let's move on to the 2016 budget approval revision.
All of you have the revision. You approved the 2016 budget at our last board meeting. If you're looking at, go all the way to the right hand, it's just the 2016 budget that we're talking about at this point. The property taxes was $335,000. The only thing that Jody and I did, and by the way, Jody is our accountant, and I've got her up here in case there's any questions that you guys have. The only thing we've done here is added $19,000, because anytime that you get a revenue source, it needs to be added into the budget. It's money coming out, and then as a revenue, and then down the list would be the expense report. All right, Jody? So, and then we learned that from Yo and Yo. So that $19,000 that has been added to the budget is from the sponsorship money that we did not have in the last budget. You have to put it in there as a revenue source. We didn't change anything else. Karen, also under number 248.0934, grounds repair and maintenance, you see where it's 41.9. That's that $25,000 that if we did not get sponsorship money, we left that right in there. We've only just added $19,000 to the budget, hoping that the sponsors have to sign a letter and everything, and that looks like everything's fine on that. So then if you flip it over, you'll see that with the $335,000 and the $19,000, we're working with a budget of $354,000. You'll see that the budget normally balances. It's my understanding now, I'm learning this through Jody, that you do not have to present a balanced budget. You'll notice that we're going to spend the $344 in expenses, but the $10,000, those are committed funds. have taken the committed funds off of the budget. They don't, they're just a line item there, they don't do any good. We've committed those funds, and that 10,000 will go into committed funds, will then, and the committed funds actually goes into the fund balance. So it is a balanced budget, but this is the way that we're doing it now, right? Anything you want to highlight on that?
So the committed funds that we have
Yeah.
set up.
Since we're talking, what was that?
Committed funds have been moved from the other part of the budget to this part of the budget.
They've actually just been taken off of the front of the budget, and we know that that $10,000 has to go to committed funds. Every year, that money that's committed. Jim, go to your, if you guys want to go to your packets, please. If you go to your packets, go to the balance sheet. If you look under committed funds, Jody has cleaned everything up. I mean, we have the monies and everything have been moved all over. She has been a breath of fresh air here, very easy to work with. She's done an outstanding job with me, and I know with Tracy and Rose. But if you look under the committed funds, those weren't in there on your last one. Everything now is up to date. So we're going to be putting $2,500 always goes into the trail, $2,500 goes into the village square, and $5,000 goes into the bridge maintenance.
It kind of sounded, I think where the confusion came, was that the 19 and the 10 were related, but they're
No,
not.
they're not related.
I got confused myself. So the 19, do you see what we're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can be kind of confusing
Well, no,
sometimes.
but because I just asked Carol, because I thought, well, where's 10 coming when we just talked 19, but it makes sense now. And it's lovely to see that value grow. I don't know if you guys peeked at that. Those committed funds?
Yes.
I mean, when a grant comes along, we're gonna have some nice money. That's exciting.
And I just want to thank Jody for all the work, and she's been patient. She's, even on our budget sheets and stuff like that, you'll notice next month, everything to date is all caught right up to date. From moving monies to do all this, so I think we're actually going to end up pretty well. We should be at a plus at the end of the year, the way Jody and I are anticipating everything to kind of come out. And then if you're looking at that, what we have in fund balance is that $461,668.77. That is your fund balance. Correct?
As of right now.
As of right now. So I
Okay.
brought Jody up here today in case you want to direct any questions to her or whatever. I'm learning from her, she's learning from me, and we're trying to keep it all together here so that everything is true, and when we present something to you, all bills are paid and these are the financials.
Okay, now your chance to ask Jody some questions.
Is this a budget adjustment? In other words, are we gonna have to approve it?
Yes,
Okay.
because this is a revised one. You
I thought
approved
so,
the,
but
yeah, you approved, good question, Augie. You approved the last month's budget, that's gotta go away, we have to reapprove this budget. Then next month, I believe this is going to be taken to the town board,
It's
Rose?
November.
November meeting, this will be taken to the town board for their approval.
And the debits and credits, we're just putting things in the proper account line item that we see the, okay, thanks.
That would have to be-
Okay,
Okay, so do you need a motion to approve the,
I think we need a motion.
pardon me?
I think we need a motion.
Make a motion to approve the revised budget for 2016.
Support.
Motion been made and seconded to accept the revised budget for 2016. So a roll call on that.
Thayer,
Yes.
Bamber,
Yes.
Gobine,
Yes.
Betcher,
Yes.
McNally,
Yes.
Turnbull,
Yes.
Waker,
Yes.
Townsend,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Motion carried. That'll be submitted to the town board.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, board.
Let's move on to the Great Lakes Discovery Center update.
Yes, I just received I received this a couple weeks ago from Jeanette from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife. The first title commitment insurance from First American Title had some hiccups in it, so we were waiting to get that stuff fixed. So I just received this one here. I've talked to Tanya on this. The title commitment is all done. What had happened, the first one, is that some property that they already owned, they were giving to us, and the title company had a few things botched up. So we've got the title commitment all done now. Tanya and I are going to sit down and make sure through this title commitment, I've asked her to do this because it's been going on for 19 years, that we're receiving the right property and that we're not giving up something, that we're just making sure our I's and our T's have been dotted. So as soon as Tanya and I do that here in the next few days or next week, then I just need to let Jeanette know from U.S. and Fish and Wildlife that everything is done, and then the closing date will be set. The document here is from Jeanette from U.S. and Fish and Wildlife saying looks to her 100%. But before I sign my name on any dotted line, I just want to cross this with Spicer because they've been actively involved in it, and I don't want to sign something that, oh well, what happened? He signed a document wrong. I don't want to do that. This is too big of a project to screw it up now.
Can we party when we get that document?
Yes, we will have a party, parents' house.
We'll frame it.
We're looking for an email on that.
So, I mean, it's great news, but the first document was wrong, the second document, but I've asked Tanya to, let's just make sure. I don't want to be responsible and then it starts all over. So no action needs to be taken on it, Mr. Baker. I'm just letting you know where we stand at this present time.
Okay, then, if there's nothing else in the Great Lakes Discovery Center, it closes the whole business for today. The Great Lakes Discovery Center. Let's move on to the bond prepayment.
The bond prepayment has been paid. You guys wanted a letter, or they wanted a letter. Tracy, we put a letter together between Tracy, I, and Jody. The check, Jamie cut the check on 10/6. I wanted to make sure it got there by November 1st, because if it doesn't get there by November 1st, you're out. So the check went out, and we paid $25,000. That went right to the principal. And then we paid the $12,292.50 that went towards our interest. So we sent out a check for $37,292.50, and I've already received the receipt on it. So they received our money, and everything is good there, and you will be saving approximately $8,000. So if we ever sell some property or we ever get something again, I think Daryl, that was a great recommendation that you recommended a few months back, is let's pay that bond down, take that money, and or whoever it was, Jim, let's take that money, and it is going to save us. We've not only paid the principal down, $25,000, we've also saved $8,000 in interest.
I think it was Jeff's idea.
Okay, one of them. All of your idea was great.
Okay. Is there any more in the bond prepayment? That concludes our whole business bond prepayment for today. Carpool update.
At our last meeting was brought up that there was some work on lighting that needed to be taken care of down there, and there were 3 issues. Those issues have all been taken care of, the bills have all been paid. Am I right, Roberta? Yep.
The only issue that hasn't been taken care of is straightening up that panel box. He needs
Okay.
a full day to do that, and he's finishing up some gas stations right now, so he's gotta have a full day to spend in time to do that.
But everything else has been taken care of.
The light bulb, all the lights are fixed.
Okay. That concludes the report on the carpool update. North Gateway.
We had mentioned at a couple of meetings that we received that property next to where the north end is, where you're coming into Bridgeport. We're going to be making a larger expansion, a nice welcome rock, nice welcome beautification type thing. Coming in there, we do have a sponsor that the foundation is going to be committing some funds to it. And we had our committee meeting today, and Tanya, if you want to talk a little bit about it, Tanya got the blueprints together. Her and I have met with several people on it, including the sponsor, and now we're going to move it forward. And no, I would just, why don't you just talk about it?
Okay.
We don't have anything to present to you today. We have blueprints, we have quotes, we have all that stuff done, but we need to get the bids and stuff, so.
Okay, so we've done a plan and looked at the area and what needs to be done. We're gonna finalize some plans and some specifications, send it out to 4 contractors, and receive bids by the end of November, and make a recommendation on that. So we'll receive sealed bids and open those and do a bid tabulation and go that route,
So then what'll happen is that those bids will then come to Spicer, and they will actually open them and do what they need to do and make a recommendation to the beautification committee. Then, well, first of all, when those bids come back, we have to go and talk to the sponsor and go over everything, see exactly what the foundation's going to be contributing, and then see what the DDA possibly I'm gonna make a recommendation that this is a DDA project also, and that I'm, depending on what the foundation, if they pay the full amount or not, I really believe that the DDA, this is where we need to take some of our money, and it's not big dollars, and we do have the money in the fund balance. But at this point, no action needs to be done till we get the bids in, talk to the sponsor, and then we will bring it all to the board. And this project, we'd like to start it in the springtime.
Question, are we considering doing a land swap or anything in that area? There's a gap there, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No. Where Pines Market and that house was, Darryl, we have acquired that piece of property through the land bank. There is a access driveway, if you want to get out the print, you can. There's like an access driveway that is on the left side, right, whatever. The access driveway goes in and goes up around, and the building in the back is Dew Russell property, which should be condemned. I and Tanya have been down there. I've been talking with Jamie, our new zoning and, what's the other word? Plan. Administrator. I've had a lot to learn today. We've been looking at that. That is really, the windows are all broke out. There's old cars, there's old everything there. To make it look nice, we were gonna put some arbs up or something like that. To make it look really nicer, I'm gonna try and have the DDA obtain that property. I'm trying to get a hold of, what is there, like 10 kids or something like that?
Yeah.
Tanya knows Tony Dew Russell. The old man, I believe, is still living, and he's in his 90s. We've made contacts, but we haven't been able to get anybody. But you're right, there's you can show the board there.
This is the parcel that we acquired from the land bank.
Yep.
This property is owned by New Russell, as well as this one. This is where the sign sits now.
Yep.
That's all Consumers' property. So Steve is attempting to acquire that. But right now, there's two access points to this. There's a driveway here, and that could be used, and there's also a driveway point here, which, you know, if you look at the gravel and the two tracks on there, that's how they get in there.
Is that what you were looking at there, Daryl?
Yeah, I was just wondering if we're moving or talking to them in that area, it'd be kind of nice if we could.
Anything else? Children yet?
No.
Yeah, because you've got the property, Consumers' property, which looks nice. Then you've got the Dew Russell driveway, and then the piece of property that we got, and then the Pine Market Drive.
Yeah.
And without taking out the Dew Russell, it's gonna look like crap. Pretty much.
The goal is to get that Dew Russell property, and
Yeah.
like I said,
Disguise the crap.
And if we,
As long as you're, as long
and
as
if
you're
we
working,
can't, we would screen it heavily with some evergreen
as long as we're
backdrop.
working on how, if we are, that's our next question.
yeah.
Thank you.
Just like any property I see that, I'll present back to you, but we've had no luck right now, have we, Jamie? No.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other comments on the North Gateway project? Close the old business on the North Gateway. The next agenda item is closed session, which there is none. And the DDA coordinator's report.
I just have a couple things. The Milliken property, which we own right next to Rite Aid, where the sidewalk still is not finished. That should be finished soon. The reason that was not finished, we had to take, Consumers put a new pole there. The other pole was actually right in the sidewalk. So that old pole is coming out, and then they've moved the other one over. So that sidewalk should be completed here very soon. Ruth Ann's on top of that. And then I had called Roberta, and on the old telephone pole was a fixture for the Christmas lights. So Sam was kind enough to go and get that down before that old pole gets, they're gonna come and get that old pole any day. So they got it down, and then we can get it attached to the new pole and stuff like that. You don't need no permits or anything like that, because the fact that with Consumers or anything, because we had an existing, it's removed, and a new one, we can just go ahead and do it, put it on. So plan is to still have a Christmas light there on the brand new pole. And the sidewalk should be done here shortly. The only other thing I have is today Daryl and I and Rose attended the chamber meetings. Larry, it was a good meeting. I believe this chamber is moving in the right direction. To really be honest with you, I had a little hesitation there for a little bit. There's been some hiccups and stuff like that. And yesterday Daryl and I met with Commissioner Cheryl Hadsell. Had a really nice meeting with her. She spoke today at the meeting, and hopefully next month we're going to see if we've been approved to get that 75% of hotel tax dollars available to both Birch Run and Bridgeport. So things are moving, I think, in the right direction. They lost their whatever her title was, but Stephanie's no longer there, and Mike is only working 1 day a week. So it changed the accounting. There's been a lot of things that have been changing, and I've been having a lot of conversation with Larry too. So, but a good meeting. I think we are moving in the right direction. It's going to be interesting to see how it all pans out.
I had dark hair when we started 2 weeks ago.
The other thing I have is on December the 4th, correct? I'm sorry, 2nd. The 4th is the county commissioner. December 2nd is the re-grand opening of the Bavarian Comfort Care. Heavy hors d'oeuvres, gonna be very, very nice. I believe you're getting a couple of the senators there and stuff like that. We would really like everybody's participation, from the planning and zoning board to the DDA board to the town board. We want to show that we're excited to have them expanding in our community, and when you got an opportunity to go to these things, and I believe it is at 12 noon. Yes.
I'll verify that today.
Yeah, on the 2nd, and Larry, you can get the email addresses to the boards and that. Tracy and I will work on that and get that to you so that you can actually send them out something, or I don't know who's doing that now at the chamber office. Is that you, or? Okay.
Probably.
Larry, what date was that?
7/2. I'm hopeful that we can do a slow mail to you, just a regular invitation rather than just email. I know everybody's all excited about email, but I'm finding some folks get caught up in their busyness of the day and they miss the email.
Larry, you can just say you don't do
Me.
it. Okay, I'm okay with it.
So I'm gonna try to do both if we can.
So if we could get this participation, we really would greatly appreciate it.
I think it's very important that we show ourselves friendly to that group, but
Absolutely.
my guess is that that's well in excess of $1 million expansion over there. That is really something. I attended the, is it okay if I speak?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I forgot. This is a different, it's not the chamber, and I'm not supposed to talk, I guess. I attended the open house.
Dialogue during the coordinator's report.
You're good.
You're good.
Oh, okay. I attended the chamber, or the Frankenmuth Credit Union open house the other day, and golly, they might have had 400 people there, so I'm hopeful that we can get at least a minimum of 200 here. They drew in from multiple areas, but I'm going to try to bring as many Bridgeport folks, or Birch Run folks up here as well. We're going to try to do some things that show ourselves friendly up here, and then the vice versa, you guys come down there. So we are indeed just one organization.
Good. Also at the chamber meeting this morning, I think it might have been Andy Susky that had directed a question or something to Paul Moore, who is the village manager and the DDA coordinator. When he had come into town, I kind of opened it up after that, and Paul has been very successful there, and he said he attends as many functions as he can, and he gets out into the community as much as possible. So I'm now going to try and visit 2 or 3 businesses a week, and then go to just get ourselves visible out there and go to those things. So it was a good meeting, and I said when I grow up I'd like to be like Paul Moore. So, but what'd you say?
Nothing.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it.
When you grow up? Okay.
You guys hear that?
Bad night.
No lunch.
Okay.
Okay. And the last thing I have is I'm really going to direct this to Karen. When you guys, this is my 2nd year into the position. I absolutely love it. I think things have been going very, very well. Before I got the position, I think there was some hesitation on the board as far as me not being the right person, or it wasn't that, it was that Karen didn't want to see me fail. And I thank you for that, and this board approved $14,000 a year for me to work with Tanya from Spicer. If I didn't have that guidance or that money in our budget, I don't think we would be where we're at today. So I want to thank Karen and the board for that recommendation, and Tanya for working with me. I asked Tanya to put together where we are as of right now for the general professional services, and your $14,000 that you allocated to me for the year of 2015, I've spent $5,925.50. So It's not that I blow the money and just have a great time with Tanya or whatever. This year I budgeted $12,000 because I knew that I hadn't spent a lot of that, but Tanya, I just want to thank you for what you have done, and we're $8,400 to the plus, and I only call her when I'm in desperate need or I don't have the right answer, and then I have her come to these meetings because I think it's very, very important. So I want to thank this board for having my back and giving me the opportunity to learn and grow, and I will continue to do that. I'm done.
Thank you, Steve. You have done a good job.
Thank you. Terry?
Member comments.
Oh, here we go.
Barry?
Well,
Well,
We're starting back
He
here.
was looking at me for very nice.
let's go.
Ron?
No, I think everything's going very smooth.
I do want to thank Ron for showing up last Wednesday. Him and I had a DDA meeting by ourselves. The way the calendar falls this month. So Ron showed up a week early, so. Little joke.
Do I get double pay then?
Yeah.
Sure.
Take 2 weeks.
Karen?
I'm set.
Darrell?
All set.
Augie?
Well, Steve, about growing up, my wife occasionally says to me, "Are you ever gonna grow up?" And I tell her, "I think I know what you mean," and no. So, the same thing applies to
Thank
you,
you.
Steve.
Okay, Eugene?
Good.
Verda?
I've decided to let Steve start. Don't count it.
Why?
Okay. Next meeting?
Your next meeting's gonna be, because of the 18th, because of Columbus Day, or a holiday. Thanksgiving, it was the Thanksgiving this morning, now it's Columbus Day.
Veterans.
Okay, Wednesday, the November 18th.
The third Wednesday.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
You got it.
Support? All in favor, aye?
Aye.